Praise the Lord, and I want to bring greetings from the Church of the Province of Uganda, where I am based now. And I want to thank the Lord for all of you. My name is Rev Richard Rukundo. I am a family man. I'm married to Grace Rukundo, and with us we have two boys, one 3-year-old Joshua Rukundo, and one 2-month-old Joel Rukundo. I have been working with the Diocese of Kampala for the last 10 years, directly working specifically with children and youth programs. I worked first with St. Francis Chapel at Makerere University, where I was working closely with students and been there for like 3 years. And after that, my next assignment was working with the All Saints Cathedral at Kampala, the biggest church I think in this province, with over 2,000 children every Sunday and having over 70 volunteers. And I was a children's ministry coordinator. I thank the Lord because during the time I worked there for 6 years, the Lord saw us take the ministry to another level. And I can tell you that this is a ministry that has increased my passion, but also making sure we are able to work to bring the children to the limelight. I am coming to this office, and I thank the Lord so much for Reverend Canon Janet for her endeavors to identify me, work with me, mentor me, especially working together with the work of children. My last assignment has been at St. Andrew's Church Bukoto, where I worked as a curate, but also supervising the work of children and youth in the parish. It's a big parish as well in the Diocese of Kampala, with over 2,000 members of the congregation, and the biggest composition being youth and children. But making sure that I supervise the work that is done by the children's leaders and working closely with the teachers. And we praise the Lord because as He sends us here, it is another assignment, but having a big mandate to see children's ministry in our churches, in our schools, in clubs, organizations, and communities being a major idea, a major activity that we actually identify with and work with. What are my 4 areas that I'd like to actually identify? I've named 4 areas that I think we need to begin with and work intentionally on. Number 1 is children's ministry advocacy, which I also call intentional ministry to children. Currently in all the churches, including the urban churches, which actually can afford to supervise the work of the children, there is no intentional program, the children. Oftentimes the senior pastors are not very intentional in planning and supervising the work of the children. And for me, I feel as a ministry, we need to aim at having intentional planning, intentional activities, intentional budgeting, supporting the work of the children, and ensuring that the children's ministry is one of our priorities. So I have said that I need to work closely with all the leaders of the church, and I know we need to work closely with our bishops, work closely with our parish priests, work closely with all the leaderships of the church, working to make sure that the children advocacy is part of our ministry. And very importantly, number 2 is to make sure that we do also work on personnel working with children. Currently, we have lots of volunteers. Even churches which can afford to have full-time children's leaders do not have them. And that makes the work of children not unimportant and neglected oftentimes. Children are bared with, they seem to be not part of the ministry. I know that every church at least employs a full-time priest, and sometimes a catechist, who is in charge of the adults programs. I would like to see us intentional on developing personnel, training them, and recruiting them, and keeping a base, a team that we know that is based either at the diocesan level, at provincial level, at parish level, having teams of children's leaders actually working with our churches directly as commitment. Those churches which can afford to hire children's leaders and children's coordinators, I would encourage them to actually do that, because I would like them to have personnel who are committed, knowledgeable, and can go to do children's work effectively. And not just volunteers who sometimes are not even informed of the children's rights and children's handling. And that is the big challenge we have that we have to work with. Number 3, I am planning on developing, mobilizing, and a very much needed resources. This ministry lacks resources, and you will hear that when you go to all parishes, all dioceses, people tell you we don't have resources to support children's ministry. And for me, I feel that we need to raise resources. And that could be done working with the churches directly, because I know the parents are very supportive, the communities are very supportive, but also the churches need to put this as a priority. So if we raise resources, financial resources, material resources, to see that our children love church, our children are catered for, our children are given priority in everything that we do. And I think that is the big challenge. I'm happy that currently we already have a provincial discipleship material that has been developed. We're going to tend that to all dioceses, to 34 dioceses of the country. Currently it is in 11 dioceses where it's being piloted, and I want to see it go to all dioceses. And it's a very nice program that we've actually developed. I thank Canon Janet for being spearheading this program. But also importantly is to see that as we work with the individual churches, we are also able to help them equip themselves with the little they have, with what they can afford. Start small and grow in developing materials, curriculums, teaching aids, and things that actually children need for their learning. And that for me is very vital in the work I'll be doing. Number 4, the I want to focus on, especially within this time, is schools ministry leaders. Currently, we have many schools in this country, very many schools with boarding sections, and actually children are most of the time in those schools, yet we don't have relatives, we don't have people who are full-time there doing children's ministry in the school. So children have needs and are left in those schools without need, because they don't even have chaplains, because we have a few clergy who are able to go out there to be part of those schools. So I want to partner with schools and develop teams into schools, which I call leaders supporting. And these leaders can be supported, can be commissioned, so that they are ambassadors working with children's ministry in schools. So at least every school has someone that we identify with and can be able to do children's ministry. That even in the absence of a priest, someone is there and is doing children's ministry. We want to thank the Lord for your support. I want to praise the Lord for all that you've been doing to support us. And I want to pray that we will continue to do everything together. I want to thank Canon Janet for actually being there, working with you. And I know she's retiring, but she's not getting away from us. We're still a part of her. She's going to be with us. She's going to be helping me, encouraging me. She's mentored me. She's been a part of us, and I know that she's going to still be part of us. And we want to promise that we want to keep the accountability. We want to keep the allegiance. We want to keep the trust in that we have had by being accountable, by being reporting, being in touch, making sure that what comes to support us is actually given what is supposed to do. And we want to thank the Lord, because I know that we have a lot of support from the leadership of this church. The Archbishop, the outgoing is Henry Rukundo, has been very supportive to the work of the children, and I could see that even as the House of Bishops met and they gave an opportunity to Canon Janet to address them and talk about the plight of children, which has never been happening. But Canon Janet has an opportunity to go and address the House of Bishops and talk to them about the need to emphasize children's ministry in their churches. And there are many dioceses taking it up, prioritizing the work of children. I'm going to be working closely with the new incoming Archbishop, because I know he also has a heart for children, making sure that we work together to see that we emphasize the work of children. I know that our bishops are going to be able to come on board on this, our priests need to come on board on this, and I know the Lord is on our side. And I'm remembering the story of Hagar and his son Ishmael, remembering that actually God provided for them while they were in the desert. So I believe that in this desert, God is able to provide for us. Like He provided for Hagar and Ishmael in the desert, He loves His children, and He's going to be able to use us. We thank you, we bless the Lord for you, and we continue to pray that this partnership will take us to a different level. And I promise to you that we won't disappoint you. We work together, we will pray together, we will be able to keep updating you, and we will be very accountable, making sure that we are able to do what our mandate is for this ministry. Thank you so much, and may the Lord bless you.